Stop me if this sounds familiar. Your child just challenged you on a simple request. Again. Or maybe they had a complete meltdown the second they walked through the door after school. Or perhaps they've asked why so many times today that you've lost count. And you're standing there wondering, where did I go wrong as a parent? Here's the plot twist that's going to change everything. You didn't go wrong. In fact, those exact behaviors that are driving you absolutely crazy, science says they're actually signs that you're doing something incredibly right. I know that sounds backwards. We've been conditioned to see challenging behaviors as problems to fix, signs that our kids are struggling or that we're failing somehow. But what if I told you that developmental psychologists and attachment researchers have identified specific annoying behaviors that are actually green flags for healthy development and secure attachment? Behaviors that look like problems on the surface, but are actually proof that your child feels safe, is developing normally, and trusts you completely. Today, we're breaking down 5 behaviors that probably frustrate you daily, and I'm going to show you exactly what the research says they really mean about your parenting and your child's development. This isn't about making excuses for bad behavior or saying anything goes. This is about understanding the difference between behaviors that need correction and behaviors that need recognition for what they truly are, signs of a thriving child. Before we dive in, I want to be clear about something. If your child displays these behaviors, it doesn't automatically mean everything is perfect. And if they don't show all of them, it doesn't mean something's wrong. Children are individuals with unique temperaments and developmental timelines. What matters is understanding what these behaviors actually signal when they do appear, so you can respond with confidence instead of frustration or worry. If you're exhausted from those daily power struggles, those endless questions, those after-school emotional explosions, and you want to understand what's really happening beneath the surface, subscribe to the Parenting Blueprint right now, because we're about to completely reframe behaviors you thought were problems into evidence of exactly what every parent wants: a child who's developing beautifully. The first annoying behavior that actually means your child is doing great might be the one that challenges you most directly. It's when your child pushes back, resists your requests, or tries to assert control over situations. We're talking about those small power struggles that happen throughout the day. And here's what decades of research on child development tells us this behavior really means about the foundation you're building. The first annoying behavior that actually means your child is doing great is pushing back and challenging your control. Those small power struggles over what to wear, what to eat, when to do homework, they're not signs that you're raising a little rebel. According to research from Dr. Diana Baumrind, whose work on parenting styles has shaped our understanding of child development for over 50 years, children who appropriately challenge parental authority are actually developing a crucial skill: autonomy. Dr. Baumrind's longitudinal studies found that children raised in authoritative homes where parents set boundaries but also allow age-appropriate independence show more confidence, better problem-solving skills, and stronger self-reliance than children raised in overly controlling or permissive environments. When your child says, "I want to pick my own clothes," or "I don't think that's fair," they're practicing independence and developing their own identity. Here's the key insight from developmental psychology. Children who never challenge, who are completely compliant all the time, may actually be suppressing their developing sense of self out of fear or insecurity. Research published in Child Development shows that some level of age-appropriate resistance is a normal, healthy part of forming identity. Your child isn't trying to make your life difficult. They're testing boundaries, which is exactly what their developing brain needs to do. The second annoying behavior is the after-school meltdown. Your child holds it together all day at school, with teachers and classmates, managing their behavior and emotions in structured environments. Then, the second they see you, they fall apart. Tears, tantrums, emotional outbursts over seemingly nothing. And, while this can be embarrassing and exhausting, research on emotional regulation tells us something beautiful about what's really happening. Dr. John Gottman, whose research on emotional intelligence has revolutionized how we understand childhood emotional development, explains that children compartmentalize their emotions based on where they feel safest. A study from the University of Washington found that children save their biggest emotional releases for their primary caregivers because that's where they feel most secure. When your child melts down the moment they see you, it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're their safe place. Think about it from a neurological perspective. All day, your child's prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for self-control, has been working overtime. They've been regulating emotions, following rules, navigating social dynamics, and managing frustrations. That takes enormous energy, especially for a developing brain. When they finally get home to you, their brain can finally relax and release all that pent-up stress and emotion. It's actually a compliment, though it definitely doesn't feel like one in the moment. The third annoying behavior that actually means your child is doing great is the endless stream of questions. Why is the sky blue? Why do I have to go to bed? Why can't dogs talk? Why? It's absolutely exhausting, especially when you're trying to get through the day or you don't know the answer yourself. But here's what cognitive development research tells us about this relentless curiosity. Dr. Susan Engel, a developmental psychologist who has extensively studied curiosity in children, found that children who ask frequent questions are actively building neural pathways for critical thinking and learning. Her research shows that peak question asking happens between ages 2 and 5, with some children asking up to 300 questions per day. This isn't random chatter. Each question represents your child's brain actively trying to make sense of the world. Research published in the Journal of Cognition and Development found that children who were encouraged to ask questions and received thoughtful answers, even simple ones, showed stronger reasoning abilities, better academic performance, and more sophisticated problem-solving skills years later. When your child asks why for the 100th time, their brain is literally building the foundation for scientific thinking, logical reasoning, and intellectual curiosity that will serve them throughout life. The key here is what it reveals about their environment. Children ask questions when they believe those questions will be answered, when they trust that their curiosity is valued. According to attachment research, persistent question asking is a sign that a child feels intellectually safe, that their thoughts and wonderings matter to the people who care for them. The fourth annoying behavior is talking back. Not outright disrespect or cruelty, but that tendency to respond to your statements with disagreement, to challenge your reasoning, to express their own opinions even when they contradict yours. It pushes buttons and tests patience. But developmental psychology research shows this is actually a sign of healthy personality development and emotional security. Dr. Lawrence Steinberg, a leading researcher on adolescent development at Temple University, found that teenagers who respectfully disagreed with parents showed better decision-making skills, stronger resistance to negative peer pressure, and healthier self-esteem than teens who simply complied without question. This pattern actually begins much earlier in childhood. When your child talks back, what they're really doing is developing their own voice and learning to advocate for themselves. Research shows that children need practice expressing disagreement in safe relationships before they can do it effectively in the wider world. If they never learn to say, "I don't agree," or "that doesn't seem fair" at home, they're more vulnerable to peer pressure, manipulation, and difficulties standing up for themselves later. The crucial element is that your child feels safe enough to disagree with you. They trust that expressing a different opinion won't result in rejection or loss of love. The fifth and final annoying behavior that actually means your child is doing great is big sensitivity and lots of tears. Your child cries when their tower falls down, when you say no to dessert, when their sibling looks at them wrong, when their sock feels weird. Everything seems to trigger tears, and it can feel overwhelming and sometimes embarrassing, especially in public. But here's what research on emotional development tells us about children who feel their feelings this intensely. Dr. Mark Brackett, director of the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence, has conducted extensive research showing that children who express emotions freely and intensely are actually developing crucial emotional intelligence skills. His studies found that children who were allowed to express big feelings without shame or suppression showed better emotional regulation by adolescence, stronger empathy, and healthier relationships than children who learned to suppress or hide emotions. Here's the critical insight from neuroscience. When children express emotions fully, they're actually processing those emotions through their entire nervous system. Research published in Developmental Psychology shows that emotional expression helps children's brains build the neural pathways needed for identifying, understanding, and eventually regulating feelings. Suppressing emotions doesn't make them go away. It just pushes them underground where they can't be processed or learned from. What makes frequent tears a positive sign is what it reveals about your relationship. Children cry freely around people they trust to handle their emotional intensity. According to attachment research, when your child brings you their biggest feelings, their most intense reactions, their overwhelming emotions, they're telling you without words that they believe you can hold space for all of who they are. So let's bring this all together. Those 5 behaviors that exhaust you, the power struggles, the after-school meltdowns, the endless questions, the talking back, the big tears. They're not evidence of bad parenting or a difficult child. They're evidence of healthy development, secure attachment, and a child who feels safe enough to be authentically themselves around you. Does this mean you never set boundaries? Of course not. Does it mean you accept disrespect or allow chaos? Absolutely not. What it means is that you can respond to these behaviors with understanding instead of shame, with confidence instead of worry, knowing that beneath the frustration of the moment, something important and healthy is happening. The next time your child challenges you, melts down, asks why for the 50th time, disagrees with you, or cries over something small, take a breath and remember what research tells us these behaviors really mean. You're not failing. You're succeeding at creating exactly what every child needs, a safe space to grow into who they're meant to be. If this video helped you see your child's annoying behaviors in a completely new light, subscribe to The Parenting Blueprint for more research-backed insights that help you parent with less guilt and more confidence. You're doing better than you think.